In 1961, El Comandante Fidel Castro seized power in Cuba. In his first months, he announced his reforms for education and healthcare, while at the same time reducing civil liberties. Back in the US, the CIA was targeting Castro with several bizarre assassination plots and the Bay of Pigs operation. Although Castro met Vice President Nixon and appeared in several interviews on US television, the period of goodwill was brief. Just months after the revolution, hundreds of people were killed by firing squad after show trials. Famed revolutionary Che Guevara was the commander of the prison and took a personal interest in interrogating Batista supporters. People wanting revenge for the brutality of the Batista regime shouted, "To the wall," the site where people faced the firing squad.
There were lots of executions, and we thought, well, they got what they deserve. These are bad men. They've obviously done some terrible things, and so he's cleaning house. But they kept on, and they kept on. And there were hundreds and then thousands. And they moved the trials to the sports palace, and there were thousands of people in the stands screaming at the top of their lungs, paredón, which means to the wall.
Confirming American fears, Castro declared himself a communist and began to build an alliance with the Soviets. Russia now had a staunch ally just 90 miles from the United States. Over the next couple of years, US operatives devised all manner of secret assassination schemes.
All of these schemes, they range from exploding conch shells to poison cigars to assassination rifles to poison pens. None of these efforts succeeded, but they certainly show the creativity, at least in the laboratory, of the CIA in its multiple efforts to kill Fidel Castro.
When John F. Kennedy became president, he inherited from Eisenhower a more ambitious, secret plan to overthrow Castro, the Bay of Pigs operation, a plan to train Cuban exiles to storm the island and take over the government. Recently declassified documents reveal the CIA hired the mafia to murder Castro just before the Bay of Pigs operation was launched. But that CIA plot failed as well. March 1961. In Guatemala, the CIA quietly put together a brigade of about 1,500 civilians and began training them. The United States was preparing an assault on Castro and his government. This time, it was all or nothing. This was war. The American-backed insurgents planned to land at a place known as the Bay of Pigs.
We didn't know we were going to land on the Bay of Pigs until probably 2 days before. We always thought that we were going to be dropped or land near the mountains.
Castro's intelligence knew well in advance about America's plans and used the attack as an opportunity to round up his enemies.
The Cuban government had the opportunity to arrest all the underground and all the opposition, whether they were in fact opposition or not. They just picked up everyone they thought could possibly turn against them.
From inside Havana, the US attack seemed to be going badly from the start. The exiles were quickly killed or captured.
I remember telling the, militiaman that captured us, I said, okay, give me some water and then shoot me.
After the Bay of Pigs fiasco, even the CIA's own top-secret report dubbed the operation the perfect failure.
This report was so scathing in its criticism of the CIA's own mishandling of this operation that the director of the CIA at the time, John McCone, took the report. There was about 20 or 30 copies that had been circulated. He asked for every single one to be returned, destroyed all but a couple, and kept those in a safe where they were hidden away from history for decades.
Kennedy had lost face and lost the battle. But a new war, an ongoing secret war to bring down Castro, was already underway. And it would bring the world closer than it had ever been before to the edge of nuclear war.